Hey, so America turns 250 years old this year. We're going to talk about a musical celebration in Pennsylvania that helps commemorate that on today's PMEA's Take Note podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of PMEA's Take Note podcast. I am Mark Despotakis. Today, we are talking jazz. We are talking America 250. Where those worlds collide, how those worlds collide here in Pennsylvania is what we're going to do. So I'm delighted to bring in Marko Marcinko. He is the founder and artistic director of the Pennsylvania Jazz Alliance, and he's the director of music at Misericordia University. Marko, thanks for being with us.
Mark, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So let's kind of just level set here for people. Tell us about the Pennsylvania Jazz Alliance. What is it? What types of things do you all do?
Well, we're an organization, a nonprofit organization that's been in existence since 1997. And what our mission is we want to bring great jazz, blues, world beat music across the entire state of Pennsylvania, and especially in areas of Pennsylvania where maybe those type of genres are not as favored as other kind of genres. So just trying to, in an educational sense, preserve these genres in such a way that everyone could get a chance to experience them at some point or another in their lives.
That's okay. That's really interesting. From that perspective of getting to those pockets where maybe jazz is not a thing. How do you guys how do you do that? Generally, before we even talk about the America 250 part, how have you been doing that?
Well, a lot of it has really been with little concerts, in various clubs and or theaters in different parts of the state. And also education, going into some schools, doing some workshops and clinics and things of that nature to preserve the music or to pass the music on. Each year, we've prided ourselves on hosting a one-week education program. We call it the PA Jazz Institute. And we have the PA Jazz Institute at Misericordia University. And we do a 5-day workshop there, working with middle school kids and high school kids, teaching them about jazz history, teaching them about world beat and blues history and performance techniques that they need for improvisation and theory and all of that stuff. And we've even added another university, Eastern University, to our docket this year to do the same kind of 5-day workshop. So through education and through performance, we've had great success, trying to, again, preserve this music and keep it moving and passing it on to another audience, another generation.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Talk to us a little bit more about the education piece then. I love this, what you're doing in these education pieces. We have a lot of music educators that tune into this podcast. So where do they intersect with this? How can music educators, try to get some of their students funneling to some of the things that you're offering?
Well, it's very easy. I mean, the websites, I should say, are pajazzinstitute.com, and you can find everything that you want to know about what our PA Jazz Institute is doing there. You could also go to pajazzalliance.com, and that will lead you to what we're doing as well and give you the mission statements and all of that stuff. But we try to collect as many names of band directors and students as possible to, reach out to them and get them involved with our programs. Now, we're mostly located on the eastern side of Pennsylvania. So, we're in the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, northeastern Pennsylvania. But now we've done stuff in western Pennsylvania and central Pennsylvania and things of that nature as well. But our reach has been growing over all these years since developing this thing in 1997.
Yeah, very cool. Really interesting. So I guess it's kind of the piece of the puzzle here, what you're doing as we come up on America's 250th, is that we'll be kind of taking over the summer and the rest of the year. We've already heard pockets of it, but I think it's really going to pick up over the summer. You guys are also taking a part in that in some way. Tell us about that.
Well, I developed a program to preserve again and to educate and to entertain our great citizens of the Commonwealth with a thing called PA 250 as we celebrate not just America 250, but Pennsylvania being one of the original states, 13 states. We celebrate 250 years. And Pennsylvania has such a significant role in American history, of course. And when most people think about Pennsylvania's role, they think about Philadelphia, the Liberty Bell, of course. They think about the Revolutionary War. They think about the Civil War. They think about things of this nature. But in the musical genre, jazz, we have a great history that is incredible with the artists that have been born and raised and come from Pennsylvania, such as John Coltrane, Billie Holiday, Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, Ray Brown, Stanley Turrentine. There's just name after name after name. It's a large history of jazz. And you could really tell the history of jazz through the eyes of Pennsylvania. So I developed this story called PA 250, Our Jazz Story, where we include our legislators, state representatives, and senators in the various cities that we're going to narrate and talk about these great artists. And then I have the Keystone Jazz Orchestra, a 20-piece large jazz ensemble, which is created from the best players that are working today, that are born and raised here in Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh to Philly, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Erie, from the entire state. I collected some great players that it's an all-star group that we're going to tour around the state in November, and we're going to do some performances.
That is very cool. So tell us a little more about what these concerts are going to be structured like. I mean, are you truly telling the history then of jazz in Pennsylvania? Are you talking about like, hey, these are the artists from Pennsylvania and we're going to hear some of their tunes as well? Like, how are they going to be structured?
Well, to answer that question is a yes.
Okay.
So if we're going to talk about the Dorsey brothers, right? And Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, they came out of the Shenandoah area of Pennsylvania, but they also performed as young men before they went on to their great careers as big band leaders. They performed with the Scranton Sirens, which was like a dance band that worked in the 20s. In the Scranton area, even played in New York and a few other places, but not a lot of people know that. We're going to tell that history. We're going to play some Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey with the band, of course, and we're going to do the same thing with John Coltrane. We're going to do the same thing with Billie Holiday. We're going to do the same thing with Lee Morgan and Henry Mancini, the great composer, Sammy Nestico. Again, it's like you could do hours upon hours upon hours talking and playing the music of some of the greatest jazz musicians ever, and they're born and raised in Pennsylvania. So we're going to just do a nice, maybe an hour and 20-minute, hour and a half concert that has narration, that has slide projection, where you can see the artist on the screen. It's going to be educational. It's going to be entertaining. We're going to have a very swinging big band playing this great music with some of the best players imaginable. And it's going to be a great time in November.
This is very cool. And so people can find out about this on the website.
They could go to PAJazzalliance.com and they'll find all the information about PA 250, Our Jazz Story. Yeah. But I will tell you this, that we will be performing at Mercyhurst University on November 1st. We'll be playing at Misericordia University in Dallas, PA on November 6th. We'll be at Huntington Valley outside of Philadelphia at Lower Moreland High School on November 5th. We'll be at the Whitaker Center in Harrisburg, PA on November 10th. And then we come out to your neck of the woods on November 17th. We'll be at the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild and we'll be doing a performance there. So there'll be 5 opportunities. Maybe there'll be more. I don't know. I've been getting some people asking if we could take the performance to other locations in Pennsylvania. So this is all based on the fact that the National Endowment for the Arts was able to give me a grant through our PA Council on the Arts. And that's what kickstarted this whole idea of taking this around the state for America 250 and for PA 250. So I'm very grateful to our PA Council on the Arts and everyone that works there, Carl, Amy, Jamie, Nora. They are doing a great job, and they're very helpful in supporting artists like myself and creative minds here in our state that want to do some great things for the state.
Well, how very cool. And I love that you're able to migrate it across the state in November. And man, if there's some other dates in there too, I think people would love to see that. A great history lesson, probably an eye opener for a lot of people as well. So Marko, thanks for taking some time just to talk to us about the Jazz Alliance, but particularly about this tour. I think that I'm going to have to make that to the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild in November. I think I'll be there. So
we would love to have you there, Mark. And we invite anyone who's a PMEA come on out and hear some great music, and we'd be more than happy to work with anyone with the PMEA.
Awesome. So we will again tell people, take a look at the websites, and learn more about it. So Marko, again, thanks for taking time to be with us.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
And thank you all for being with us on this edition of PMEA's Take Note Podcast. We'll see you next time.